Hello everyone, it's Mike here, and Lee is back, but this time he's got picks from 18. Yes, we're gonna do it. I still have my roster, so this is crazy, and this is a definitely, taking a time machine back in time. I remember some of these, and they're so great, and of course we're kicking things off with Dwight. Why not? But yeah, you're gonna see some ones that I'm sure you missed. But I haven't done shows on this since, we're going on, how many years it would have been? It would have came out in 17. So, oh my goodness, we're going on 8 years. 8 years on that. And just craziness. Absolute craziness. And I miss it. I miss the old days. I constantly talk about the old days. Like some old guy looking back on his life. And George is here. And, of course, Rick. I remember Rick C. made him. Did a great job with that. And Lee picked these 30. There wasn't a lot to choose from. And I did switch 2 because I had a lot of my people on there. So I did switch 2 of his. Because he may have thought that some of my guys were not my characters. So, and George is making it rain. You know how George goes to the club. He makes it rain when he's in the club. And we're kicking things off here. And we do have those cuts. So, I don't know if you enjoy that or not. But I usually take those off. But in this situation, I won't. Because especially, it's cool sometimes, but you do miss some of the action. So I don't like missing action, but at the same time, it is cool, especially in this situation. 1v1, it's cool. And we got Colossus at 3. And, graphics still hold up, I think, pretty good. 14 is a whole different situation, but I still think, I don't think they've really upgraded a lot. Or maybe I don't notice that much. Because I don't play it on the new console. So, that might be part of the issue. And we got Dwight is just going toe-to-toe with Colossus. And we got Cobra. The Commander is in the house. A classic villain from the 80s. And he's just taking his sweet time getting here. So Lee did all the picks. I know that some of you all probably say, well, Lee always gets to pick. Well, he's kind of made it easy on me. He sends me messages, and I pick them. So we do need to, going into 25, which by the time you see this will probably be there. Or maybe not. I don't know yet. But we do eventually need to, give everyone picks. Lee's more into the old school games, which I don't blame him. And wow, we got a ref. Why not? We have a ref. The ref has went crazy. He's lost his mind. They laid him off, and now he's forced to fight. So that's the backstory, I guess. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Lee, I hope you enjoyed it also. You got Rick Grimes at 6. I love revisiting this. And we're not going to do it often because it's very old. Even though we still love 19 because 19's awesome. This is super old. We're talking about this stuff was years ago. This is just so crazy. How I wonder what it's going to look like in 20 years. That's not if AI doesn't kill us first. And I love the replays, but hopefully we don't miss anything. And you don't have to show it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Okay? One time is good enough for a replay. And we got Nemesis at 7. Of course, he's a legend here. He's always been a part of this every year we've had him. It's pouring the rain outside. We got Myers at 8. Of course, another legend. This version I'm not a big fan of, but we did use it a lot. And I definitely recall it. I'm not a fan of this version, but I think we just had to. This is a Rob Zombie one. That's why. Yeah, the Rob Zombie one. Which, you know, I like the first movie. Despise the second movie in the franchise. And there goes Cobra and Megatron's 9. We don't usually have him, so he's cool to see. I'm with the Decepticons as usual. I'm always cheering for the villains. I just think Optimus is lame. Megatron's awesome. I like the ninjas in G.I. Joe, though. So those are really cool. And Dwight, if Dwight gets this, oh, no way. Come on. Dwight. Oh, that's just crazy. There's no way he could pull that off. I love George, too. We'll see how far George and Dwight can get. Of course, George was... I love this. Oh, this is where it all started. This is where it all started with this character. Well, my boy Madman Mars, you know, just... He's something special. And, I would never... I would probably have found out later about the character, but this introduced me to the character. This particular one. And at first I thought it was, you know, some grouchy old guy. And when I found out about this character, I thought he was unbelievable. But at the same time, he was, the movie stinks. It's not a good movie. And we got the Creeper at 11. Which I think is a great creation. I know some people not a fan of the movies. Because of the controversy with the director. Which I don't blame people. I don't blame people for thinking that way. And up next. Oh, yes. Yes. I love this one. Definitely a legend. Also, a lot of these guys came from the shows. We always had these guys on the shows. And they were so fun. And the ref is done. And, and it looks like we lost Rick also. So we got a lot of good ones. Lee picked a lot of good ones, and I just love seeing some of these guys again. It just brings back great memories. It really just brings back great memories when you see these guys. And we got Draven. It's always good to see him also. Oh, wait. Oh, Eric Cartman. My bad. I got him confused. I think Draven, I don't know if he's on this or not. I'm trying to remember the list. But I think I definitely have that character. And poor Madman is finished. I hate to see that. He's definitely one of my favorites in this. As much as I'm not a fan of the movie. Because the movie's no good. I mean, it's mediocre, and it has a lot of potential. And the worst movies that you could ever watch are the movies that have tons of potential and then they just drop the ball. Those are worse than bad movies. Any movie like that. And the Creeper. Oh, my goodness. And, oh, come on, Elvis, really? Yeah, there is no way. And it is going to get ridiculous. Obviously, I hate that. You know, the King of Rock could never pull that off. I don't care how good his music is. We got the count at 15. By the way, not for kids. Just to let you all know. Just in case the Kappa dorks are still watching. You know, it'd be like the parents would raise their kids. Can't do that, though. Just give them an iPad and leave me alone while I drink my beer. That's basically summed up. You know, they can't take responsibility. You know, they want to get the guy in trouble that, you know, sells movie tickets and M-rated games, but they don't do anything. Oh, my goodness. I did one time try to buy an M-rated game, and the guy literally read off all the things that were in the game, and it was Fallout 3. So there's a lot of things in that game, and he read them to my mother when I was like 14 years old. I was trying to sneak it, or maybe I was 13 at the time. I was trying to get that game, and you know, there's two things in. I'm not gonna say there's a certain rating for themes, and then there's the drug use rating also, which they're all fictional. All the drugs in that game are fictional. And as for the theme, there's nothing really in there. There's some dialogue, and that's it. So I think my mom thought it was a lot worse than it actually was. If I would worry anything about Fallout 3, the violence I think is horrific in that game. I still, till this day, think it's one of I love gory games and I love gory movies, but something about Fallout, how it's displayed, just I find disturbing with some of the stuff. And there's this one level in Fallout 3 it's the black and white level where you do all this heinous stuff for this guy, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is just. And I did replace, so I added Skeletor in here because Lee picked Mike Strickland. He probably didn't know that was one of my guys. So I didn't want any of my guys in this. We might do one with all my people, but I didn't want to do it for this one. So and I put Skeletor and He-Man to replace the two that he picked. I think he picked Clarence and Strickland, which aren't big characters of mine, but they're still characters. And I just wanted this to be all from the community. And Megatron is done. And Elvis is getting scarier. And look at the count. Oh, if the count would have got that, that would have been embarrassing also. The Creeper really holding it down. And there goes Elvis. So the King of Rock and Roll is finished. And he's lucky he did as good as he did. Yeah, the Creeper, I think, is a great design for a character. Of course, people hate the director. They have every right to not like him, obviously. But I still like the movies. but I haven't watched them in a while. And at the time I watched the movies, I didn't know anything about it, all the situation going on there. At the time, I did have Jeepers Creepers 1, and I did sell it. It kind of just didn't make, it wasn't good enough to keep. I like number 2, though. Maybe better than 1. But I'd have to rewatch them, but, you know, they're not my favorite, but I still enjoyed them for what they were. But, yeah, I can understand why people boycott that movie. But also, I watch a lot of Spacey movies, too. And obviously, he did bad things. I don't know if they ever proved it or if it was just allegedly, but it was pretty bad, some of the stuff. But I still watch Seven. I still watch Usual Suspects. There's all kinds of people that are involved in the film besides the one person. So, and he is a great actor. And he paid the price. Because if you've ever seen that interview with Piers Morgan, and Venom is 20. So the Trash Man didn't do hardly anything. Creepers finally finished. And the Count is hanging in there. I just love the Count. I love that design. That was one that he was so funny. We used him all the time. And I'll tell you, when that whole Kappa issue came about, I was scared to death. And now I'm just, it's like, why was I even thinking that way? I mean, I think a lot of people were scared. You know, that guy literally sat with his goofy haircut saying, we're going to take you all out like fish in a barrel and stuff like that. And then the pandemic hit, and I don't think he was worried about that anymore. Because that was right before the pandemic. And everybody was freaking out. There was a couple people that, you know, do what I do, was freaking out. Some people completely got rid of things. And, yeah, it really stunk. And there was all kinds of people saying, trying to stir the bucket. And saying, oh, they're going to come after everybody and all that stuff. And obviously they didn't enforce it at all. I mean, there's definitely stuff they should have enforced that they didn't. And we got Thomas the Tank. I love this version. It's like a Mafia Thomas. And there goes the Count, so he's finished. And we got V also. And the Punisher at 23. I just love seeing the you know, Thomas the Tank. We had so many great times with him. And, yeah, I kind of just stopped using those guys. And, you know, we might, by the time you see this, we might be into 25. But I'm thinking about bringing some people back from the old days. I really am. I want to change things up. I think it'll bring more people, get more people involved. And Super Boo, he's just, he looks so menacing, but he looks like, you know, the pink. Don't underestimate the pink. And yeah, Respawn just reminded me of Respawn. That was, a lot of people loved that team. That team was awesome. And they did just unbelievable things. And Boo. Wow. He did not make it very long, but the Kid Boo is supposed to be, I think, the powerful one. Which I think is weird. I never watched the Boo Saga, but I know that the first Boo's the toughest. It's kind of reversed because usually your final form is the toughest. I think it's vice versa with Boo, but I haven't watched it, so I'm not 100% on that. But I think Kid Boo came first, and then it's Majin, and then the Fat Boo, which is supposed to be the weakest. Which someone told me that. I don't know if it's true. And of course, Shrek. We always have him. Get out of my swamp. He's always fun. Every year, and oh goodness. Me and Shao have kind of put our differences to the side. We used to really hate each other, and it's because of my friend. My friend's the reason why I hated Shao. It has nothing to do really with Shao, just how my friend used Shao Kahn against me all those years. Man, that was, I don't know how long ago that was. Goodness. We're talking about Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So 20 years, around 20 years. Where has the time gone? I mean, it's just insane. And we got Bane at 28. And we're getting closer to the end. And there goes Shrek. And Alucard's 29. This is another one I really miss. We've had him every once in a while, especially with the anime ones. Yeah, this is my favorite version. And I don't know if this is an accurate version. Maybe he looks like this in a couple episodes or something, but usually he has the red coat. But I love this version better. He's way more menacing. And he was a menace on 18. He was. He was a force to reckon with. And I think we're about to get our final one. And like I said, Lee put a great cast together. And yeah, it's going to be Agent 47. Which, of course, the Bureau has always been a big part. They had a little bit of a comeback, but didn't really go far with them like I wanted to. And, that's something I'm thinking about for next year is bringing back more of the community. Because I think they pulled a lot of people in. And once we lost the community and I started doing my own thing, I think less people were interested. That seems to be the point where it happens. And they were asking for a while, and eventually, we hadn't had it in forever, so they just stopped asking about it. But I would love to bring them back. But I don't know I would love to bring the people back that really were involved in the shows. Not just some random character. Like, I know Bane was. And Venom was, and Agent 47, and Spawn, and Thomas. So, a lot of these guys were involved in the show that I did. But I also thought they took away from the characters that I wanted to develop. But they did bring, when, someone saw on the thumbnail Thanos, I was like, oh, wow, let me go check that out. And they might have not been interested at all in the story. So that was kind of the strategy at the time I was doing that. And Venom is finished. So we are down to You're down to 5. And 47, oh man, he tried to go for the charge there on Alucard, and it did not work. Alucard's going to be tough. Oh, man, what a move. And it is pouring the rain here. But as long as it's not lightning, I don't care. I like the sound of the rain. Especially when it hits that block tile. Sounds so good. I mean, it's like this, it's kind of like one of those sleep machines that you put on to just calm your mind. And I really like that. But I just hate lightning and electronics. And of course I got surge protectors now, but it is pouring though. But anyway, we are down to these 5. And Lee, I hope you enjoyed it. I still don't like it as much as 19, but it's, I mean, there is similarities. There's definitely some similarities. I think 19's more polished than this is. But I just love seeing these guys again. It brings back so many great memories. I thought like 17 and 18 were kind of like upgrades for 16 a little bit. Even though I enjoyed 16 more than both of them. But I feel like 17 and 18 are tied for which one's better. I mean, I think they're a complete tie. If I was to rank it, don't count 14. Let's don't count 14 because it was kind of the last one on the older consoles. And there goes Agent 47. I would put 19 at 1, 16 at 2. And then 17 and 18 are like a tie. Obviously, 20's dead last. 15's really bad. 20 and 15 are the worst. And 22, 23, I think I think 23 is better than 22 and 24, in my opinion. But, I mean, it's very close. 23 feels like an upgrade for 22. But, 22 was a big deal because 20 was so bad. It was the worst. Especially if you loved... Oh, imagine some of these, imagine some of you all doing 20. Oh, man, I don't want to even go back to those days. You couldn't even get a Rumble together unless... you use actual superstars. That's the only way you could do it. I don't think we ever achieved it. We had some 20-man, but we had to go back to 19, which most people did anyway, because they just got sick and tired of it. Beautiful tombstone there by Spawn. And we are down to these 3. And I love this cutscene here. Hope you all can't hear that in the background, but it is pretty bad out. This is pretty good about background noise that I use. I'm gonna definitely upgrade some stuff in the future, but I got a lot of big things going on this year, so. And Shao is just relaxing in the corner. I don't know who's going to take this. They're kind of dragging, these 3 are really dragging it out. And Shao's got an opportunity here. I wouldn't go in the corner. He's just dragging Alucard around. That's a big mistake. I mean, you had an opportunity to get him on the ropes. I think 19 does that better. Look at Spawn here. Uh-oh. Boom. What a hit. And Shao. Yeah, there's a lot more of that. They're struggling to get him in the... And I do like that. And I do like that finisher in the corner. Because anyone can use it, though, is the problem against anybody. And we are down to these two. Let's get that cutscene in. Alucard and Spawn. Let's do this. Spawn's been on a roll. Can he take down the boy Alucard? Oh, he's got it. He's definitely got it. Oh, well, we'll see. I don't want any last-minute eye rakes. That's the last thing we need. Definitely don't like the eyes. And it looks like we have more replays on this, which we don't always need. They always show us the ones that nobody cares about. But some of these look good. So that's okay. Usually they show the losers' best moments. But Spawn, don't point at the sign, because if you point at the sign, you pay the fine. You're not going to WrestleMania. Sorry. You're done. 25, though. Not bad. Not bad. But, Lee, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it. A little blast from the past. And that's what I like to do sometimes. Just to, no, quit. That's one thing that didn't change. The ego of these people. To think that they're ever going to go to Mania. This is not qualified for it. Quit pointing at the sign. They do it every year. They've done it in this year and ever since this year. And probably before this year. I just don't recall it. But that I hope they do it. I just love saying it. It's a catchphrase at this point. It's my catchphrase. So. But anyway, Lee, I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody else, hope you enjoyed the blast from the past. And it's good to see you all. And yeah, Spawn wins. I'll see you all later.